Hello, welcome to another virtual edition of Hops and Homes. I'm Brady Wilson, mortgage lender at Westcourt Mortgage Group here in Portland, Oregon, and I am with
Me, Michelle D'Amico, realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services.
also in Portland,
Somewhere near
Oregon,
in the
somewhere near Portland. You can
in the
tell. Look at the
outskirts.
trees. Look at the trees. You can
Pretty
tell.
fantastic.
So we've been coming to you every week just in the wake of our economic fun times that we're going through. There are a lot of changes that are happening. There's also a lot of stuff that's remaining the same. So we just want to make sure that you're getting good, solid information about real estate and lending. And as anything changes, we want to make sure you're getting, again, good, solid information. If you're following stuff from the media, beware, take it with a grain of salt. Always talk to an expert, realtor, or lender before you make any decisions or start spreading rumors. Make sure you got the facts. How's your week going, Michelle?
Oh, it's been great. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, it's Tuesday. It's been great. I'm seeing some great activity still. Have sellers ready to list and buyers wanting to buy now. I have buyers wanting to buy 6 months out and some that are a little bit further out. So having conversations with all of them and just managing expectations and staying current with what's going on.
So what is going on? What's up with market activity and pricing and all that good stuff?
Well, the great thing is we just got our quarter one numbers in, and average days on the market for quarter one compared to last year are down 7%. So homes are spending less time for sale. Closed units are up 10.5%. So more deals are closing from last year. And the Portland metro area saw an average price increase of 4%. So more money for our people.
Okay, so less days on market. That means there's still really strong demand for homes.
Yeah, our inventory is pretty low. January was about 2.9 months of inventory, and it's about 1.7 the last time I checked.
That's very low. That's extremely low.
There's a lot of demand for housing right now in Portland, and that's probably why we're not going to see any major price dips no matter what ends up happening with the economy. So I did want to tell you though, so Portland's up 4%. Yamhill Carlton, if you'll believe it, is up 21%. And Lake Oswego 8%. And the average number of new listings is about the same as it was last year. So that's pretty good news, especially in the wake of this pandemic, seeing that still having a pretty strong housing market.
So those were units sold that were all up, those percentages you just gave us.
Mm-hmm.
Those were actual closings. And
Yep.
then actual demand is staying similar to 2019 levels.
It is. There's a study done recently nationally, and traffic currently, like early April, is pretty comparable to 2019. It's slightly below, which is understandable, but people are still looking for houses, still wanting to buy.
So regardless of the fact that you can't necessarily go in and walk around all these places right away and drag, the entire family in and grandma and all the kiddies and everything, and you might have to wear booties and wear a mask. I mean, people are still buying and selling real estate. That's what you're telling me.
We're definitely utilizing safer showings. We will do virtual open houses, and most listings will have virtual tours. So we absolutely recommend driving the neighborhood, making sure it's actually somewhere you feel comfortable living, doing the virtual tour, and then potentially doing like a personalized virtual tour. Myself, one of the agents, can go through and FaceTime you or Zoom call you and do like super specific.
That would be a live situation where you could actually ask questions or ask for
Say, can you go
close-ups.
back here? Yeah, and then also, what does it feel like in the house? How does it smell? Because sometimes you can't really tell from photos always if you're getting a clear picture of what's going on. I'm not kidding.
No, I know you're
It's
not.
a real
It's just
thing.
something you don't think about, right?
Yeah.
We're so used to just thinking, and especially online. I mean, I know the real estate search starts online for a lot of people, so they're looking at places and they aren't thinking about
Yeah.
those things. What does it sound like? What does it smell like? What?
Right. So by the time you actually get into the house, it is not your first time seeing it. And then we do highly recommend only the people that are going to be purchasing the house visit it, just for safety's sake currently. And we can wear gloves and masks, and then pretty much not touch anything. I'd be the only one touching things and wiping everything down, just to keep everybody as safe as possible.
So safety and sanitization are first and foremost on everybody's mind, right? We're making sure people are safe
Absolutely.
and doing it the right way.
And clarifying that nobody's had any symptoms or anything going on recently.
So that's good information too. If you're out there and you happen to maybe have a home you might be interested in listing, they're also making very, very certain that's all done safely and nobody's going to have any kind of a problem. They're following all the CDC guidelines, and probably
Absolutely.
even a little bit more, I would say.
Yeah, we want to make sure everyone stays safe and that they're comfortable with what they're doing. And we do an extensive consult prior. Make sure, like, if you need to buy a house right now, we can help you. If you want to wait a little bit longer, now is still a great time to start that conversation and get you positioned, because once we do come out of this, we're expecting to see a really strong market and a lot of activity. So you want to be in a position to make a strong, solid offer.
I mean, if anything, it might be making the process a little more efficient, right?
Yeah, I am appreciating that quite a bit.
People are going into less homes, and they're
Right.
being a little more focused on what they're looking at and saying that really is the one, right?
Yeah, I definitely appreciate my buyers who will take it upon themselves to drive the neighborhood and say, you know what, I realize this isn't going to work for me. Check that off my list. These are the ones I want to look at.
Awesome. I want to pull back really
Yeah.
quickly. You talked about some of those suburban numbers. What did you say about Yamhill County?
Yamhill County saw a price value increase of 21%.
So that's year over year in the first quarter.
Yep.
So 21% higher for home prices in Yamhill County.
In Yamhill County,
That's
Yamhill,
pretty
Colorado.
amazing. What do you attribute that to?
It's wine country. You got a lot of people moving into
Well,
Oregon.
sure, people want to live there.
The Pacific Northwest is kind of a vacuum. People are still coming in.
Well, and I think from the standpoint too that as Portland Metro becomes a little higher priced and more competitive,
Definitely.
right? People are getting out there, they can get a little more bang for their buck maybe, if they're willing to have that trade-off and have the bigger commute.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention it's probably a little nicer scenery, a little quieter.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that seriously looks like a fake backdrop.
I'm not there, but I'm close.
That looks like a fake backdrop. That doesn't even look real.
It's real.
I know another thing we talked to briefly before we started tonight was the percentage of rent or percentage of income to rent. What were those?
Oh, sure.
That was definitely something.
Yeah. I know sometimes when people are renting, they think they can't afford to buy. And it's a really important thing to understand that, when you're renting, you're paying somebody else's mortgage. So you're paying into someone else's equity. We all need a place to live. We all need a roof over our head, and you might be a whole lot closer than you think. So the percentage of income you're going to need to afford median rent historically is 25.8%. Now it's 28.4%. And the percentage of income you need to afford a median home is historically 21%, but now it's 17.5%. So month to month, you're better off. You're paying for your own house. You're building equity, and you're really just investing in your future.
Yeah, and obviously from the financial side, I'm always a big fan of you do have to live somewhere.
You do.
Why not make that an investment? Make it something you can have a tax write-off on. You can use it as a vehicle for wealth, and you can build generational wealth through it too. And more importantly, though, and what I really tell a lot of people, especially first-time buyers, is it's a good investment. I mean, 99 out of 100 people are going to agree. There's a few outliers out there, and there's some very common outliers out there that argue with you on that. But if you're going to spend any amount of time in a place, then you're better off putting down some roots and actually doing the investment. And we can run those numbers for you. If you've got a different timeline, then we're happy to run those and make it different. But the big thing and the point that I was trying to make there is you're buying a home. You're not just buying a house. It's not just an investment. It is where you live. It's where you're going to raise your family. It's where you're going to put down roots. And so it isn't just an investment. It's both. And that's something I think is really important. I mean, we get caught up in a lot of these numbers, and I know I do from the analysis, of the investment side of it. It's a home. That's what you're really looking to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's different ways to leverage it. If you don't want to live there long term and you want to buy and then leverage that and buy, rent it out and buy a new place, we can help you. We are not only able to educate you in different areas, but we are facilitators of connection. So, like, say you want to do a 1031 exchange or a self-directed IRA, we can partner you with the correct people to get the information you need to position yourself to do that. Because again, home values typically don't fluctuate like the stock market, and so it's
That's
pretty
fair.
safe. Historically, it's a pretty safe place to park your money.
Which is good because, like we talked about, I mean, I don't see a price dip coming. I know a lot of talking heads out there are throwing that out there. We don't see that being one of the big things or in results of this slowdown in economic activity that we're seeing. If anything, I think housing is probably going to lead the way out. We've still got strong demand and we've got low inventory. And
Yeah,
and
I
the
will.
last time I checked, low inventory and high demand means higher prices, right?
Yeah, I can give you one example. Just one of my clients that has been thinking about selling just in the last few months in their specific area. They have seen price increases. So now if they go ahead and list their house, they could potentially net more money from it. So,
And they were kind of on the fence, right? They thinking they weren't going to get what they thought it was worth.
yeah, and
And
just in a
now it
few
looks like
months.
maybe they can in a few weeks.
And not only that, the current market stats, the homes are going pending in just a few days. So
And so in a situation like that, they want to sell and they also want to buy. So you've got to hit that sweet spot, right? I mean,
mhm.
you're going to get a good price for your home, and you're not going to get outbid on a new one yet. But if you wait, you'll get some more money, but you're going to also pay a higher price, right?
Potentially, but when you're downsizing, that's to your advantage. If you're
Sure.
if you're
But I'm
upgrading,
just saying from a market point, right?
oh
I mean,
sure,
if we don't think there's going to be a pricing dip,
yeah,
waiting is not
go
going to do
for
you
it.
any good. That's the point I'm trying to make. And, we can definitely run some cost of waiting analysis. That's something that we have access to, and we're happy to run. We run that for everybody we talk to.
Yeah, we're happy to have conversations with you. It's we don't charge for that, and there's no obligation. We can even help educate you, well, not only on the process but also how to interview people, because you should interview several agents and several lenders and find out who's going to be the best fit for you and who like and trust, because it's a really big investment and you're going to be having us in your life um, for a little bit, and it's pretty intense during the home buying process. So we want to make sure you're working with someone that you trust and that is going to get the job done for you.
You don't mind talking to a few dozen times. We try to keep it down to a minimum, but we're good folks. We take it pretty easy on you. From my side, just want to hit on a couple quick things. Credit's still tight. There's still some overlays out there, some credit score requirements, reserve requirements, debt to income requirements are, they're still a little tight for a lot of these programs. So, if you were pre-approved before all this started to happen, you definitely want to go back to your lender and make sure that that still stands. Because that's important. Some of that stuff has changed depending on the loan program. The rates might have gone up a little bit too, so that can also affect your buying power. Conventional or conforming rates are still fantastic. We're seeing pretty much historical lows or right above historical lows there. So those are great. So I mean, it's still a fantastic time to buy from that standpoint. The only other thing that we're kind of worried about, and is kind of a clutch thing that we are telling as many people as we can about, is this forbearance thing.
Mm.
It's been blasted out in the media and even by the government, and it's not exactly accurate the way that they're portraying it. It's not free mortgage payment holiday. You don't get to do this with zero repercussions. And I know they're saying that they're not reporting them as late. It's not going to affect your credit. But I'm seeing credit reports. I've seen credit reports come up and it says loan in forbearance. And one of them had a 30-day late. Now, whether that stands, who knows? I mean, it's a developing situation, but it's not just a scot-free, I don't have to make my mortgage payment for a few months. So regardless of what kind of a situation you're in, if you do need that, then talk to your lender. If you need to have somebody walk you through what to ask for and what to look for after you talk to your lender, give me a call. I'm happy to give you advice on that. And again, no strings attached. We just want to make sure that you're in good shape to do something down the road if you want to, because here's what can happen. If you take forbearance now and say 2 or 3 months, you've been furloughed or whatever, 2 or 3 months down the road, you're back and you're up to date on your payments, or you've fulfilled your forbearance requirements, you may not be able to sell your home and get a new loan for a new home. You may not be able to refinance your home and take advantage of what we are still expecting to probably be even lower rates, although there's no guarantees on any of this stuff. When it comes to the economy, it's all up for grabs, but that's what we're looking at right now. But taking forbearance, especially if you don't need it, is not a good plan. So just, we want to always make sure that we're educating first and helping people first and making sure that you're getting the good information. So if you have any questions on that, please think carefully about it. Please make sure you get a second set of eyes on it and know exactly what you're walking into and what the repayment terms are going to be. That's it.
That's important information, I think. Yeah. So pay if you can. If you can't, talk to your lender.
It is. And again, if you're not sure or you're not quite understanding what they're putting out in front of you, talk to somebody. Don't just take somebody on a call center 800 number. Don't take their advice that, yeah, everything's fine and we'll take care of you. You don't want to be in that position in 3 or 4 or 6 months down the road where you want to do something and you're held back because you took forbearance, especially if you didn't need to. But that's about all I have. So, I think it's a pretty good market wrap. Good news from your end. Still good news from our end. We're still making loans. We're closing deals. We're funding deals. We're starting to see some, a little bit of fallout here and there. But even with restrictions, real estate's still being bought and sold. Money is out there to be borrowed. If you need help, we can get you there. If you qualified or you get to the table and your current lender can't do it, I'm getting some of those calls.
Oh, geez.
They're getting right up to closing and being told, well, we don't have that program anymore. And they almost make them think, well, nobody's got anything for you anymore. And that's just not true.
It's not.
Especially, I'm with a broker and I've got a lot of different lenders and a lot of different programs. And even if I can't help you, chances are I do know somebody who might be able to, just depending on your situation. Some situations it may be true. You may not be able to move forward with the loan, but, make sure you're getting the good information. Make sure you're being well informed. You have anything else?
No, that is one thing I appreciate about you, though. I know if it can be done, you'll make sure it gets done.
Thank you.
Not everyone's created equal, so.
No, we try to get creative and we dig a little bit deeper than probably some of the other folks out there. We pride ourselves on that. All right, then if you don't have anything further, I think we'll call it a night and we will see you all next week. Thanks for joining us.